Man, being an NFL star sure has its perks. Money, fame, and access to one of the most exclusive dating pools out there, celebrities. With the onset of social media and the big money deals that a lot of today's NFL players are getting, this generation of players is quickly cementing itself as a fixture in pop culture. And now we see them all over the news, not just on ESPN, but everywhere. Today's players are seen almost more as celebrities rather than athletes. And as a result, a lot of them end up dating, well, other celebrities. Which makes sense. It's just another perk of living the good life, I suppose. Here are a few NFLers who have hit up the celebrity dating pool throughout their careers. Tom Brady. Think about it. He wasn't exactly some heartthrob when he was coming out of Michigan. I mean, we've all seen those old photos from him at the Combine. Talk about being a far cry from the man that would go on to marry a woman like Gisele Bündchen, who is quite literally one of the world's most successful supermodels ever. And it isn't just Gisele either. Well, now it is. But throughout his NFL career, Brady has had more than his fair share of celebrity dating encounters. We're talking about some high-caliber dames, too. A young Tara Reid, model Layla Roberts, who was once named Playboy's Playmate of the Month back in 1997. I mean, people forget that he was married before Gisele, to another celeb, Bridget Moynihan. The two have since both moved on and are seemingly happy, but they even had a kid together, and yet no one seems to remember this. Russell Wilson. Speaking of quarterbacks who have moved on to second marriages, how about Russell Wilson? Shockingly, Wilson, who comes with a bit of a holier-than-a-preacher boy kind of vibe, has actually had a slew of dating controversies floating around him ever since he broke into the NFL back in 2012. We can get the obvious fact that he's now married to one of the biggest pop stars in the world in Ciara. But the older stuff is where it gets spicy for the man known to himself as Mr. Unlimited. For starters, he was previously married when he broke into the league, to his high school sweetheart no less. The two ended up getting a divorce in April of 2014, and there was a rumor that she cheated on Russ with then teammate Golden Tate, which may or may not have resulted in Percy Harvin's decision to punch Tate in the face during the week of Super Bowl 48. It was then rumored that Wilson was linked to Tate's wife. And then Detroit Lions tight end Joseph Foria called out Wilson on Twitter, alleging that the quarterback was hooking up with his girlfriend, former WWE diva Erica Hammond. Not exactly the same Captain America image that Wilson tries to portray in the media. At least he was able to put some of that craziness behind him now that he's with Ciara. Jordan Poyer. This next guy is certainly of a lower profile than the likes of Tom Brady and Russell Wilson. But when you're a fairly successful NFL player and you're married to Rachel Bush, well, you're gonna end up with some clout for sure. Poyer and Bush have been tabloid stars ever since they started dating in 2015, largely due to Bush's social media presence and her proclivity for tweeting out some rather personal details about the two's pregame rituals. I guess that sort of fits, considering that the couple actually met on Twitter. The two are not without fault though. Poyer was believed to have cheated on her with another IG model, Summer Rae, and it is also believed that Bush cheated on Poyer with Antonio Brown at some point in their relationship a few years back. But hey, it appears the couple has bounced back fairly well. We have an adorable baby girl they named Aaliyah and got married in February of 2018 in Jamaica. Hey, sounds like a storybook Hollywood marriage if I've ever heard of one. Jimmy Garoppolo. Then there are the likes of Jimmy Garoppolo, who, God bless him, doesn't look like he really has any interest in settling down behind the white picket fence anytime soon. The young quarterback hasn't had much trouble finding companionship. Just none of his relationships seem all that serious in my humble opinion. The narrative around Jimmy G started after he escaped from the shadows of New England to the West Coast, where he was soon spotted at the Avra restaurant in Beverly Hills with porn star Kiara Mia. The two were spotted walking arm in arm and sharing a bottle of wine, so safe to assume they're on a date. And while it didn't work long-term for those two crazy kids, the Niners quarterback has been spotted with other high-profile women as well, like Alexandra King. I guess being an NFL quarterback making a neat $140 million puts you in a pretty good spot to meet some women. Rob Gronkowski. Speaking of guys who've been in a pretty good spot with the fairer sex and have also been rumored to have had a fling with a porn star, in this case BB Jones, there was no way we could make it through this video without mentioning the escapades of one Rob Gronkowski. It's no secret that the former New England Patriot and current Tampa Bay Buccaneer has a way with the ladies. He even used to double as a male stripper in college. And there was also that time he spent his bye week cuddled up with the aforementioned Jones, which created quite the buzz around the league, especially after pictures of the two, including one with Jones wearing Gronk's jersey next to the shirtless tight end, surfaced on her Twitter account. Personally, I think everyone overreacted. I mean, the team basically made him issue a public apology, which seems obscured for such a harmless act, regardless of the woman's profession. Either way, Gronk looks to have settled down these days. Interestingly, with a former New England Patriots cheerleader and current SI swimsuit model, Camille Kostick, who is absolutely gorgeous. The two are all over one another's social media accounts, and while they're not married yet, I wouldn't be surprised to see it one day, which is pretty shocking after watching Gronk navigate the field during his younger days. Danny Amendola. Another one of Gronk's former teammates, Danny Amendola also has a rather impressive lineup of exes, including Olivia Culpo, NFL Network Good Morning Football host Kay Adams, and actress Taylor Reason. While Amendola was never the go-to guy in New England, he did have more than his fair share of big moments to go along with his high-profile career. Amendola has done well to stay out of the tabloids for the most part, despite having such an illustrious dating career. But there is one big-time exception here, which came at the conclusion of his relationship with Olivia Culpo, when he went scorched earth, 15-year-old boy style, after he was spotted with DJ Zed snuggled up at Coachella. After the images circulated the internet, he took to Instagram and accused Culpo of being obsessed with social media. Olivia chooses and wants to be noticed on the internet and in Hollywood to make money, which was hard for me to understand, but quickly had to learn, he said in the since-deleted rant. Whereas the cost of fame in this world doesn't appeal to me. I play ball for one reason, and that's respect. Well, Danny, to be fair, she doesn't play ball for a living, so kind of a weird comparison. Either way, Amendola bounced back nicely, and ironically found himself being photographed on the beach with Emily Tanner, who is quite the looker herself. Glad the poor sap was able to land on his feet. Christian McCaffrey. Culpo got dragged all over the internet, which according to her ex, she may or may not have wanted, but she evidently landed on her feet as well, as she snagged herself a new NFL player, Christian McCaffrey, who, no offense to Amendola, is an upgrade in my humble opinion. The two reportedly began dating back in May of 2019, after being spotted together in Mexico, and according to the rumors, it all started on Instagram, when the Panthers superstar running back started liking some of her pictures. A tried and true move from Christian. Although they kept things mostly under wraps during the early days of their relationship, the two have blossomed into a full-on couple and are now all over each other's social media. Whether it's one of them cooking the other breakfast or vacations to Cabo, looks like it's gotten as real as any celebrity entanglement ever gets. At least from the outside looking in. Culpo is a pretty unreal starting point for McCaffrey, who at 24 years of age hasn't really spent much time in the public spotlight yet. It will be interesting to see if their love lasts as his career progresses, or if he's on to the next one like all these other players. After all, she is 4 years his senior. Aaron Rodgers. Unlike McCaffrey, who, like we mentioned, is new to the celebrity dating racket, Aaron Rodgers is a seasoned vet. We're talking about a guy who, despite being well-mannered and rather quiet in the press for the most part, has been with more than a few high-profile celebs. And I guess, sort of unsurprisingly, considering how many of them there've been, it doesn't always end pretty. Let's start off at the beginning for Rodgers, who in 2011, right when he was really starting to make a name for himself as one of the truly elite quarterbacks in the league, he was briefly linked to Gossip Girl star Jessica Zor. Although the pair called it quits, they gave love another shot in early 2014. Then it was straight into a hot and heavy affair with actress Olivia Munn. The two had a weirdly mercurial relationship, perhaps in part because Munn was so outspoken, while Rodgers typically kept to himself. She has spoken openly about her romance with Rodgers, including game day sex habits, which I can't imagine Rodgers loved. And if he was peeved by that, he must have been livid when the couple split and she took the liberty of commenting on Rodgers' family relationships, telling Radio Andy on SiriusXM, "Before he and I started dating, he hadn't spoken to the parents and one brother for like 8 months." Okay, Olivia, not really your place to speak. Then there was Kelly Rohrbach, the Sports Illustrated swimsuit model he was spotted golfing with in 2017. And after that, it was a long-term relationship with former NASCAR driver Danica Patrick, which is probably one of the most serious celebrity relationships we've touched on. And finally, in February of 2021, out of nowhere, he revealed the news of his relationship with Shailene Woodley, the Big Little Lies star, during his MVP acceptance speech. And as it turns out, the two are now engaged. Hopefully Rodgers has finally found the love he was looking for. Tony Romo. Our last guy on the list, Tony Romo, is a longtime veteran, both in the celebrity dating game and the NFL, as he's already retired and moved into a career in the booth. He is now married to Candace Crawford, the same woman he's been dating since the summer of 2009, but before that, he was linked to some of the most high-profile women in show business. I mean, Carrie Underwood, prime Jessica Simpson, who he famously disappeared with to Cabo to get ready for a big game. It really does not get any better than that. Good for Tony, though. He seems like a nice guy who likes blondes, and he's dated and married some of the best of them. But hey, which NFL celebrity relationship were you most intrigued by over the years? Join us in the comments section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton, and hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.